It's Monday, and we are talking about celebration. Actually, we're talking about something a little bit more in depth, and it's called learned industriousness. And the reason that I want to bring it up today is honestly because I was reading Adam Grant's book, um, Hidden Potential. And one of the things that he talks about in there is this idea of learned industriousness. And it comes back to this idea of when we celebrate the things that we work hard for, we are more prone to do those things again. So, as a leader, thinking about these kinds of ideas, we have to come back to this. We normally tend to just push people towards where we want them to go and going, okay, well, you did that output. Great. You got that job done. Okay, next thing. Hey, you got that job done. Next thing. Think about this like doing the dishes. Yes, at the end of the day, we get the dishes done, and so we have clean dishes, or we get the laundry done, we have clean laundry. But this is a thing that we have to do all of the time, whether or not we want to. And so there really doesn't feel like there's any goodness that comes out of it besides the fact that it's done at the end of the day. The same thing can be true for you and your team when we're talking about work. So, when do we need to start thinking about celebrating? That's normally the first question that I get asked. And it's now. It's if you're not celebrating, you need to be celebrating. The reasoning is not because people need that extra pat on the back or what we used to say, especially in the millennial generation, of everybody needs a blue ribbon. It actually is a psychological thing that when we celebrate, it creates that synapses of, ooh, I did something. Now there is that reward. Hey, I did something. Now there is a reward, even if it's not something that necessarily has an innate reward at the end of it. So, but going back to this idea of the laundry and the dishes. So, what is the reward? Maybe it's I get the laundry done, and then as soon as I get the laundry in the morning, then I can make my cup of coffee. And the coffee is my reward to myself for getting that done. Sometimes this can be as simple as taking 5 minutes, that scroll time that you tend to just use whenever and it fills a bunch of space, being more intentional about when you get that time. This can also mean things like, hey, you did a really great job on that project. And I know that we're not going to see the results from that for a while, but here's a coffee card. Here's, take off 30 minutes earlier today. These are the kinds of things that we can do as a leader to help our people see the results of things. Because in the real world, there's not a learn something, take a test, get a good grade. A lot of times that there's a lot of delayed gratification. There's a, hey, we created something, we came up with an idea, we came up with a campaign, we came up with a strategy, we implemented said thing, and it can take months before we see the fruits of our labor, which means that a lot of times we end up falling short in the middle of that. And that's why we call it the messy middles, is we get really excited at the forefront when we're first starting something. And then we get into it and we don't see any reward, don't see any reward, don't see any reward. And we're like, why the heck are we doing this? Is this ever going to work? Are we ever going to do the next thing? Are we ever going to get to the next level? And then you start to see performance dip because of the fact that there is no reward system in place. And I know that there's going to be some people that are like, this is silly. People don't need rewards. They just need to do their job and do their work. Yes, and if we know that science shows us that our brains love that and it makes us work harder and it helps us to do the things that we want to do faster, wouldn't we just put in a little reward there? Would $100 in Starbucks $5 gift cards kill you to give your team, to motivate them? Would it kill you to bring in sandwiches one day? Would it kill you to be like, hey, we decided that we're going to do lunch together today as a special for the fact that we've been doing so well on this project, or that we're ahead of where we said that we were going to be, or hey, we see how well everybody's doing in this, because we're creating morale, which then creates community, which then creates connection. And with that connection is what keeps people in what they want to do, doing the best work that they can, and being as productive as physically possible for you and your team. So if talking about clarity and getting that leadership in place for either you as for executive coaching or for your team and coming in and doing a one-day training or even a longer of us really digging into what's going on within the leadership and your systems and your strategy, I would love to have a conversation with you. You can go ahead and schedule a call with me at Kabrina ashley.com/strategy-call. And I'd love to have a conversation with you and give you some pointers on what you can do for you and your specific team right now. I will see you tomorrow.